Tout a commencé par une promesse. Pour la tenir, j'ai dû apprendre à me relever, à tenir debout, à marcher. Pour retrouver cette faculté, il y a eu un long chemin qui m'a mené de la guérison à la transformation. Je n'ai pas fait ce voyage seul. Les personnes que j'ai rencontrées m'ont éclairé, chacune à leur manière. Leur lutte pour transcender les traumatismes qui les avaient mis à terre m'ont porté. Maintenant que je suis à nouveau un homme debout, je peux vous emmener à la rencontre de ces êtres exceptionnels. 4 ans de tournage, de joie, de surprises et d'épreuves, qui s'achèvent en Israël, lieu d'histoire et de souffrance, dont j'aime les symboles. Je rentre demain à Paris. Une page se tourne. Pourtant, il y a à peine 10 ans, tout cela était totalement inenvisageable. Je vivais prisonnier dans un autre monde.
J'en peux plus de te voir te détruire. Je tombe amoureuse d'un homme, mais pas celui qui m'a.
Ce fut le coup de grâce. Il m'a fallu des mois pour accepter mon impuissance face à l'alcool. Quand enfin j'y parviens, tout craque. Dans la nuit du 5 mars 2006, d'un coup, la sensibilité de mes jambes disparaît. Emmené d'urgence à l'hôpital, on m'opère aussitôt. Hernie discale paralysante. Brusquement, je suis un homme coupé en deux. Tenir debout, l'équilibre, quelques pas. Voilà mon nouveau combat.
C'est parti, mais c'est pas évident, alors venez appuyer sur. Voilà, donc il va falloir. Ok.
Mais la douleur est partout, aiguë, permanente. Elle est ma nouvelle compagne. Elle me coupe du monde. Je suis jaloux du corps des autres, de leur vitalité. Je n'ai plus de rêve. Un an passe. Il y a de la haine en moi. Un immense sentiment d'injustice. Je suis à bout. J'ai tout essayé pour calmer la douleur.
Vous aviez eu ce problème de hernie discale qui est visible sur cette imagerie et qui causait ce syndrome neurologique qui est assez sérieux, qui s'appelle un syndrome de la queue de cheval avec possibilité de paralysie. C'est la compression des nerfs de la queue de cheval, c'est-à-dire la compression des nerfs qui ne sont plus dans la colonne vertébrale, la moelle épinière, mais qui sont la continuation de la moelle épinière et qui sont en train de partir vers les membres inférieurs pour donner la commande nerveuse motrice et sensitive aux membres inférieurs.
Chaque pas était une douleur hallucinante, chaque pas était une douleur. J'avais mal, même la nuit, allongé dans mon lit.
Je sais,
C'était un enfer.
je savais ça, mais je savais aussi que si vous arriviez à être posturalement, vous étiez crunch quand je vous ai dit. Vous étiez crunch. Quand je vous ai mis debout, je me rappelle parfaitement, un garçon de 30 ans, crunch, c'est pas possible. Alors vous étiez dans cette position qui était en elle-même génératrice de douleur. Donc si on pouvait enlever le générateur, bon, il resterait la douleur. Mais cette douleur, après, on pourrait la traiter. Si on arrive à vous faire d'abord accepter que la douleur n'est pas quelque chose qui est incontournable, qu'on va pouvoir la contourner, qu'on va pouvoir dealer avec. Et c'est là que le travail émotionnel, le travail physique, couplés tous les deux, à condition qu'ils soient bien construits, qu'ils soient bien dirigés, permet de désensibiliser le cerveau à la douleur.
Il m'entend. Il prend ma douleur en compte et me propose un autre chemin.
J'ai personnellement une professeure de yoga dans ma clientèle et qui est une femme extrêmement intelligente, qui ne fait pas du tout de prosélytisme pour le yoga. Et elle fait du yoga balance avec de très bons résultats. Et elle a surtout cette notion que le yoga vous permet à la personne qui s'y adonne de façon régulière, lui permet de restructurer son mental.
Le yoga qu'il me préconise est un yoga thérapeutique élaboré par un grand maître indien, Iyengar. Je me rends à son centre parisien où il est enseigné. J'ai l'impression d'arriver au donjon des tortures. Je vais y passer 5 ans de travail assidu.
Ce sont des cours où on prend soin de chaque personne selon les problèmes dont ils souffrent, qui ne leur permettent pas de pratiquer normalement dans un cours. Mais le but, c'est qu'ils restent temporairement dans un cours. On va toujours dans le sens de, quand elles ont mal, on essaye de leur donner des postures qui soulagent un peu leur douleur, autant que nous, on peut les aider. On ne fait pas tout, mais on peut les aider quand même à notre niveau. Avec ces problèmes respiratoires, tout le corps s'est fermé. Donc il faut ouvrir, mais on ne peut pas ouvrir comme ça. Si vous voulez, on ne dit pas on ouvre une porte, c'est facile, mais ouvrir un corps, c'est pas facile. Il faut que le corps accepte de s'ouvrir. Donc là, on lui donne des postures où le corps, à un moment donné, va dire « Ok, allez, ça y est, je m'ouvre finalement, je lâche prise, mes poumons respirent. »
Oui, je connais. On avait travaillé ça ensemble. Je me rappelle pour la première fois, je me rappelle pas, moi, la première fois quand je suis venu ici, ce qu'on avait fait comme travail la première année, vous avez travaillé sur moi.
Bas du dos, c'était votre bas du dos qui était vraiment...
Ouais.
Vous ne pouviez même pas marcher, enfin c'était triste. Mais bon, vous aviez décidé de vous en sortir.
Ouais. Et c'est ce qu'il faut faire quand on vient ici, hein. C'est vous demander aux élèves de
c'est-à-dire les gens ne sont pas passifs ici. Ouais. Les gens viennent ici en sachant que s'ils font un effort, il y aura des résultats. Et s'ils n'en font pas, il n'y en aura pas.
Ouais, c'est un investissement.
C'est l'investissement autant du professeur que de l'élève. Ouais. Et à deux, on travaille.
La douleur, toujours. Mais canalisée par les postures et encadrée par mes professeurs, cette fois-ci, je l'accepte. J'ai plusieurs fois pensé à abandonner. Une phrase d'Iyengar m'a aidé à tenir. Je me la suis répétée avant chaque début de cours. Le yoga nous apprend à soigner ce qui ne doit être enduré et à endurer ce qui ne peut être soigné. Alors j'ai tenu. Pourtant, le yoga, franchement, ça me tentait pas. Après que le professeur Farsi m'en a parlé à la salpêtrière, je rencontre Thérèse Poulsen, par le biais de ma cousine Diana. C'est une professeure réputée. Et elle me propose de la rejoindre à un de ses stages en Allemagne. Elle est charismatique et séduisante. J'ai alors une autonomie de déplacement d'à peine 50 pas. Ça fait pourtant 2 ans que j'ai été opéré. Elle va me demander de m'investir sur une période d'au moins 3 ans. De ces années, il ne me reste que quelques souvenirs, quelques images volées, faites en amateur entre nous. C'est elle qui va m'initier au yoga.
I came here on November, and I think it was one of the moments I was the most physically in pain. And just imagining doing one bend of yoga or putting my hands together or sitting down was not even an option. Pain was night and day, and there was no way I saw some yoga once. Honestly, I didn't thought there would be any solution. I didn't know if I would be able to walk again. If the pain would stop, that was the worst. And there is no other option in France. And if you want to get into what they call parallel medicine, it's almost if you would get into a sect, and they don't authorize it. It's like a big lobby of medication, of pharmaceutical, so they could give you painkillers. They gave me something called at the end, stronger than morphine, which is called ketamine, which is for horses. And if you don't feel well, they will give you Valium, they will give you antidepressants, which means you're totally intoxicated. I had to do a lot of work on myself, and that the work would come from where I didn't believe in anymore, was in myself.
Long inhale. Exhale, release the arms, open the eyes. Feel the consciousness of every move. Inhale.
Yoga is psychotherapy of the mind and the body. That is exactly what yoga is. So wherever there are restrictions or difficulties in the mind or in the body, restrictions meaning a closure, no fluid, no circulation, that is when sickness starts to course.
Exhale. Come down again to push-up position.
Very important to keep these practices exactly as they were prescribed. When we come into the West, or when we go into any culture, different places in Asia, we're always looking for the value system and how we can, with the culture, respect their backgrounds, their philosophies. So a big way that we're teaching the children is that we look into the storytelling. What are the old stories? What are the values? And try to incorporate the practices with the values from these stories, so that we're not just coming in trying to paint something onto them, but rather that we serve them with something that they already have an awareness of.
Un soir après les cours, Thérèse me montre des images qu'elle a tournées au Sri Lanka. Elle y travaille depuis des années avec les victimes du tsunami de 2004.
This is your room?
Yes.
Look.
And what are the main problems you have to handle with here?
Anywhere from prostitution to the tsunami issue. 50% of the mothers in Sri Lanka are sent off to the Middle East, working as maids and prostitution again, so whether it's in the country or in the Middle East. We've got many of the soldiers which are under 18. We have a lot of families, children that have lost either mother, father, sister, brother. So in retrospect, it's really, I've never experienced a country that has so many problems at the same time that's actually affecting directly the children.
C'est un détonateur pour moi. Je comprends brusquement la puissance du yoga, son pouvoir de reconstruction sur des êtres broyés par la vie. Une porte s'ouvre. C'est grâce à Thérèse que je retrouve l'envie de découvrir, l'envie de partager et l'envie de reprendre mon métier. Je vais faire un film sur le yoga. Je lui en fais la promesse. Ça me prendra des années, à cause de ma santé, de la douleur, de la fatigue et des financements à trouver. Mais depuis ce jour, je revis. La première étape du tournage sera les États-Unis. Un voyage long, pénible. J'arrive en miettes. On m'avait prévenu, mais d'une certaine manière, je me sens porté par ce projet. Les premières rencontres et images tournées vont d'ailleurs vite me le prouver. San Quentin, au nord de San Francisco. L'une des prisons les plus violentes des États-Unis. Vétuste, surpeuplée. Elle héberge les condamnés les plus dangereux de Californie. Et aujourd'hui, c'est le seul lieu où l'on met à mort les condamnés de l'État. Malgré les provocations des autres détenus, ils restent imperturbables, centrés sur eux-mêmes.
Straighten that front leg. Let's go into reverse warrior. Two more deep breaths. Knee to elbow.
I've realized that it's not a competition with anybody. It's not even outside myself when I practice with other people, and it makes me aware of myself and getting in touch with me and how I'm feeling, how I'm breathing, how certain thoughts affect me, and there was a point in my practice where like everybody, you go to that point where you start panicking, and that's what I believe your poem was, embrace that. Embrace that craziness, that mess, and that's okay. That's what you got to get through, and I've learned a lot of stuff about myself through yoga.
Or is it teaching you anything about yourself that you couldn't have foreseen?
In here, mostly everything is racially segregated. So in this class, there's somebody of every race. Then we all do everything together, you know what I mean? Everybody does the exercise. And this class is too, people think that when you look at it, you look at it like, oh, it's just a stretching or it's just, but it's really a workout too. So when you get done, it's like you did a real workout. Instead of running around doing the bars and everything else, it's like an exercise and a mind-free and mind-clearing all in one.
Yeah, double whammy. Yeah. So that it's interesting. So how does practicing yoga here together affect how you interact with the other guys who maybe don't come to yoga, or does it affect your interactions in general in here?
Or some people laugh when you going like you said, like you going to yoga, man. What's wrong with you? Like, and then when you come back feeling good and talking to them, and the next week they be like, man, I should go try it. Some people think they too hard to try it, but some people be like, man, I should go try it. You was.
And I know I think you were about to.
Just like I said, it just gives you an inner peace and keeps you, your mind from being stressful and depression. It helps your breathing a lot. I mean, I had asthma. I haven't used my inhaler since I used this class.
Oh wow,
so
great.
My breathing's a lot better too, and it's just a peace. You get a peace of mind, a way to think about. Like me, I use this time when I meditate, whatever, to think about the good things and the qualities that are inside me, and what I can express to other people too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a relief.
Yeah.
My last thought on yoga is that it's enriched me both mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And what more can you ask for? It's the whole package. That's what it's done for me. And yeah, I plan on taking this out to the world. I try and recruit anybody I can up in the building, and I'll practice with them. And fortunately, I have some friends out on the streets that do this too. And I'm gonna make it a lifestyle.
Ma quête est universelle. Elle semble se jouer des barrières que les hommes érigent. Ici, c'est l'étonnante histoire de Paige. J'ai souhaité la rencontrer car son travail en Afrique est extraordinaire. Il est l'exemple absolu de l'impact du yoga sur les traumatismes et les violences de notre société.
In 2005, I went on a family safari with my dad and my sister, and we were on a game drive in this exact area. And at one moment I was looking at a lion, and then to the right I saw some men playing around doing handstands, and that is when I met Jacob. I saw these guys that were doing acrobatics. I ended up jumping out of my safari vehicle and wanted to play with them. And they invited me in so easily, and my dad was screaming at me to not get out of the car because there's lions and that I would get raped and killed by these men. But it ended up being a connection that totally changed my life.
We are very easy to adapt anything new because we have a lot of says. Like in Maasai says, there is a says that we say that never tickle a hungry man. And then we also have a say that says, when you go to Rome, you do what Romans do. So when you met someone and show you something new, you do what he's doing. So that is why we are very easy to adapt anything by seeing people doing.
My name is Julius. I want to be a yoga man.
Okay, Kenya. Up.
Okay.
They asked me to come back to Kenya. They said, we have never met a white person that's so strong that can carry black men, because I was doing, that acro yoga with them. Can you come back? There's something in what you're doing that gets people really strong and not afraid. And there was something in me that just was a complete inner yes to the whole experience. And I said, okay, yes, I'm gonna come. And I bought a ticket and came to Kenya. I was teaching yoga workshops, and I found that I was getting paid as much teaching at these yoga workshops or at the United Nations as I was in New York, and that could sustain me as I volunteered to hundreds and thousands of children in the slums. And I thought, there's a problem here. The problem is that as Westerners, we can come into a country, because we've been trained, we get the highest paying jobs, and then we do good and volunteer. And it keeps feeding the cycle of colonialism and the cycle of disease and the cycle of segregation. And we'll never truly find empowerment if that's the angle that we're working on. So I decided to bridge that gap and train Kenyans to be teachers.
Life is your dream, fulfill it.
Currently, the trauma that is really being felt at the moment is the post-election violence trauma. Because in our last election, we had some chaos and we lost lives, we lost property. Many people have been affected and they're still living with it. Being 3 months to the elections, it's now coming up more clearly. The fears that you thought that maybe you were done with them are coming back again. So you realize there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of people moving from one place to another because you're thinking, okay, this may be the place that will be affected. Or there's people choosing not to vote, not to take identity cards, and just to keep out of politics because you're fearing, okay, if I'm going to vote and it has an effect on my family, then I'd rather not. So there are those signs. So the main idea here is to use yoga because now in our outreaches we are facing the community. This community are people we know. How do we try to heal that trauma? How do we try to get them to face it and to get them to protect themselves and to support themselves? If you're still having the trauma, how do you support yourself?
Here you have the ball of your left foot. Turn straight in your right leg to stand up, left knee up to the sky. If you can. Trauma affects your sense of safety and security, and again, the feeling of being safe and secure and strengthened in your inner body. And so the physical practice builds up your inner strength. And I feel, again, the interaction with our teachers as role models, as people that touch people in a safe way and not in a traumatic way, is very healing. And to be in a community that is safe is a very healing environment. So it's truly physical therapy that we're doing. If you start caring about your body and you feel healthy, are you more apt to use a condom? Or do you feel like shit and you're like, I don't really care, I won't use a condom, who cares about my life? I mean, that's the root cause that we're trying to get to around self-confidence and body awareness. Does yoga cure AIDS? Of course not, right? But does it help you take care of yourself so that you want to wear a condom, you want to choose the right partner, you feel good about yourself, and you don't want to act a certain way or do drugs at night? That's the root cause that we're trying to get to with these girls. Coming from New York, York, I had never experienced that children could live on the streets, that people didn't have a bathroom, electricity, clean water to drink. And I was thrown into this situation, and it broke my heart open. It not only broke my heart, but it mended my heart to really experience that I didn't need all of these outer things to experience happiness and experience true joy. I feel that the youth, I know that the youth are the key to creating an Africa that is not a third world country, but a developed nation. And so I want to start with teaching the youth and leading the youth to finding practices to keep developing their inner world and their inner space, their physical health, and their own sense of what's possible for them. The youth in this country aren't exposed to that many positive role models. If I go to America, people live in houses with lots of distance between the houses and fences to protect them from other people. But in Africa, you'll never find people alone. You'll always find people with community, being together with each other. And I think there's something really beautiful about the idea that yoga here is not practiced alone. It's practiced in community with each other. Like in any of the classes you'll find, there's hundreds of people, not 5 people practicing together or 1 person. And so maybe this is the way yoga is practiced, in community, in joy, in screaming out loud, in stopping to feed the kids and then coming back to the practice. And maybe that is the real yoga, if there is a real yoga.
De retour à Paris, je retrouve Electra. Je l'ai adoptée alors que je ne marchais quasiment pas. Sa présence m'a obligé à sortir, à l'accompagner pour des balades de plus en plus longues. Elle est devenue un coach, à sa manière, m'encourageant et ne me quittant pas. Aujourd'hui, c'est une vieille dame qui peine à marcher à son tour et c'est moi qui la soutiens et l'accompagne. De mon côté, je continue à pratiquer chaque jour, comme Thérèse me l'avait demandé. Elle m'a laissé un livre du maître indien Iyengar, qui n'a cessé de me nourrir. Ces mots me toucheront en plein cœur, car lui aussi a traversé l'enfer d'une condition physique détériorée. Il a su adapter des techniques de yoga pour des personnes en difficulté.
Yoga plays a tremendous role. I have patients who have to be operated, but they never underwent operation. Those medical people who said that these people cannot get back health, they got back health.
les techniques de BKS Iyengar se sont propagées à travers le monde, jusque dans des communautés qui semblaient a priori très loin de cet univers. Je vais à la rencontre de Rachel et Abraham Kohlberg, membres de la communauté ultra-orthodoxe de Beth Shemesh.
They want, first of all, to light this, first of all. And they make light. He has the sun, he has the stars, he has everything. There is pure olive oil. And there needs to be, you want to know God, you need to purify these passageways to your mind. This is yoga, huh, Stéphane?
Totally, I was going to touch it. It's incredible.
This is yoga. Activate your breath. להתחיל להפעיל את הנשימה. Open the fingers on the floor and press the skin to the floor. Now, you let go down. Yeah, go back. Slide back, stop there. אתה לא צריך את זה. זוז למטה. No, it's not difficult. Straighten your head. Okay? No, you're fine. You look beautiful. How's that? It's better? Yeah? And he would say that the pain, when you feel a flea biting you, and you don't scratch, and you don't take it away. You're just in that suffering, yeah? It's crazy. תביאו את היד למעלה ואחורה, ביו, קדימה, למעלה ואחורה, את היד העליונה, מה קרה יוסף? ולעלות. עכשיו תשימו לב לשכל, לעיניים, לשכל. And tadasana. No, jump.
You came from Russia to Israel.
Yes.
That's it. And then you said, okay, I want to try yoga.
Yeah, I was pregnant already.
You were
So
pregnant already?
Yeah.
And what did your husband say at the time when you started yoga? What did Abraham say?
He told me actually. He told me, you know what, I have a friend, he said it's
really?
a great thing to do. It's
Yeah.
And the teacher is very serious. And the practice is very interesting. Maybe we should try it together.
But for you, it wasn't like a little bit, you had to hide or whatever. It was okay to say that you were practicing yoga? The community was...
No, we were not
Hide.
religious then.
Ah, you were not religious then when you
we came to
started.
religion through yoga.
What? I didn't get this.
That's what I told you about Fike.
Ah. It's through yoga that you became interested in
After this
the more...
year in India, actually, we came back and we decided that that's what we want to do. Now we want to translate it into our religion, our
No, to
Solid.
implement. Implement.
Yes, I understand.
And also yoga gave us such a great discipline.
Yes.
beautiful discipline. So to come into commands of Judaism, it was nothing for us. We were like looking for it. Okay, tell us what to do. We're ready. And what's the sequence of this life? What is now? Now it's Shabbat, it's Saturday, we have to keep it. Okay, we do it. What's really? They're very used to be coming together. But they pray together. Women together, and also they were so different from each other. One would cover her head, another one would just come with a very, very short shirt. And they were coming together. For them, this was the first cultural shock. Then there was a level of, I was touching them. You know, Iyengar yoga is a lot of touch.
Absolutely.
And they're very, like, distance keeping. So that was the second thing, I think. Very close, very intimate thing. So I had to learn how to keep that distance at the beginning and give them their time, and then only. I think this is my first vision. To give the doors have to be open for everyone.
Everyone, okay.
Everyone. Yoga has to be given to every human being. I think so.
En plein cœur de Jérusalem, je retrouve Efrat, professeur de yoga, qui me présente une de ses élèves. Rafika et Efrat. Encore une fois, le yoga transcende les interdits et les liens entre les êtres se resserrent.
She never thought it would be something for her, although she was suffering a lot from her body. Lots of tension, very complicated life story and life condition. She lives in a refugee camp north to Jerusalem.
קשה מאוד. מתחילה ב6 בבוקר לדרך בגלל אני במחיים שועפאט, יש לי מחסום ואני הולכת ברגל חצי שעה ברגל עד אני מתחילה לאוטובוס ראשון, אחר כך אני במחסום, יורדת מן אוטובוס, עכשיו בודקים לי, הכל בודקים, אחר כך אני עולה לאוטובוס, אחר כך לעיר העתיקה, אני עוד רכבת בעיר העתיקה עד ליוגה. עכשיו יש לי שעתיים משהו. חברה שלי אמרת לי יש יוגה, ואמרתי לה אם אני יכולה בגלל אני ערבי, אני לא ידעתי אם אני הולכת ליוגה בגלל לא כל ערבים הולכים ליוגה. אני התחלתי ליוגה לפני 8 שנים. רגיל, אני לא ידעתי מה נעשה. עכשיו הרבה אנשים ביוגה, ואני מסתכלת, בגלל אני גם לא יודעת עברית, לא יודעת אנגליש, ואני מסתכלת מה הם עושים, ואני עושה בעיניים שלי מסתכלת, איך זה עושה, ואני ככה מתרגלת בעיניים שלי, רק לתרגל.
And you heard about the Guruji, B.K.S. Iyengar?
Yeah.
You know his life a little bit? You know,
Yeah,
yeah, because when he was young and he started to practice yoga, he was very sick. That's why he brought all the ropes and the bricks to help people that have difficulties. Yes, because for me, you know, today to be here, it's a miracle for me, because I didn't know about yoga, and when I started yoga, I didn't know if I was able to film again, because I was in a difficult situation physically. I think yoga enables people to have a different communication, more calm, more listening to the other one. I don't think yoga can resolve everything, but already when people practice, when they meet, no matter where they come from, there's a connection. Before I was very much on the surface, you know, with people, and now when we meet, we have a real connection, you know.
So she's mostly at home by her own. The yoga circle is in fact her social life. She is always the first. She's always waiting the teacher.
Okay.
She would never miss it.
And you were her first teacher?
I was her first teacher.
Yeah.
She's the first teacher?
Yeah.
And the connection was good?
Yeah, ooh.
Yes?
Excellent.
Les retours à Paris sont toujours très difficiles. Alors je continue ma pratique quotidienne, guidée par les croquis que m'avait laissé Thérèse, sous l'œil assidu ou pas d'Electra. Et puis il y a Clara, un cadeau inattendu. On m'avait dit que pour moi l'amour c'était du passé. Ce qu'elle m'a rendu ce soir-là est tellement inestimable que j'ai l'impression de pouvoir partir à la conquête du monde. Je retourne au Kenya. J'y rencontre Irène, formée par Page. Par le yoga, elle communique avec ceux qui vivent dans différents types d'enfermement.
My name is Irene Nauma. Today I was teaching deaf children. I was teaching them yoga for the deaf. I really called it silent yoga. And I learned the language of sign through teaching the kids, interacting with the deaf, and also AYP page paid for us at school to go learn some language, how we can come and connect with the community, that's the deaf community, so we can have a clear language, how to sign with them and understand each other. There's one of my students for the deaf kids, when I first came here, is a little girl, is like 5 years. She used to walk like, not a long distance, she fell down. Whenever she walked, she fell down. Whenever she walks, she fell down. Then after 3 months, the teacher called us and told us, since you started teaching yoga here, this little girl have never fall down again. She has a lot of energy and now she can walk. She feels her body and if you can remember, the boy was in the middle of the circle. She was like doing his own things. Before we came here, he used to saw us and run away. He was not in the circle. But the more we are here doing yoga, he's now coming in the circle. You can tell her, Kinoti, come back to the circle. She can come and do whatever we are doing. So now he's gaining something, like he's feeling, she started feeling the connection between us.
Si les prisonniers de San Quentin m'ont sidéré, les femmes de l'Engata, elles, me laissent sans voix. Longue peine, séropositivité, le yoga les a conduites de l'enfer à la lumière.
One more breath in, and I'll slowly come up, slowly come up. Good. Aya, shikanisha mkono zako nyuma. Roll shoulders zako back. Roll back, good. Aya, to inhale, angalia back, inhale back. To exhale, to bow. Penye tu mkono zako zitafika. Hapo, penye tu zitafika hapo. Good, breathe in. And breathe out. Your body becomes active. You don't get tired. You know, as because of this sickness, when you do these exercises, they help us a lot. Yes.
Good. You have to smile when you practice yoga.
Yes, we always smile. We are always happy.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is each and every time when we hear that the yoga people are coming, we are very, very happy. I do yoga every day, on daily basis. Yes.
It gives you like a way to live.
It sustains my living, it releases my stress. I feel as if I'm at home, yeah, and I feel my body relieved.
What about sleeping? How do you sleep?
I sleep a peaceful sleep like a baby. I sleep like a baby.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
All right, thank you very much. You're most welcome. Thank you. I am Musho, breathe in and out slowly. Kuja juu slowly, pole pole. Pole pole to pole pole, pole pole. Good. And release. Release. Ah, shake shake. Shake shake. Shake shake. Shake shake. Good. Aya, yung kono nyingine ya left. Kono left, shika hapo.
My name is Helen Nyokabi Deuri. I come from Nyeri. Nyeri. I have been here for almost 7 years now. I'm serving a sentence of 20 years. 20 years. When I came here, when I get into this Langata prison, I was full of stress. I could not have the energy to keep me living as long as So I need something somebody to come and help me, somebody to love me, and even to share with. So I can say they are very helpful to us. Sometimes you feel that if you have a long sentence, you are a long sentence person, you are isolated, you feel that you are kept in a cell. But at this time, when you come here to practice yoga, we feel, yes, there's freedom. Apart from there inside, we feel you are part and parcel. So if you go back to your country, just advise people. There are so many people there in your country who are living positive. So just encourage them. Tell them you have one sister in Kenya. Yeah, you have one sister in Kenya who is ready to live, not to die tomorrow. Yes.
La mer. Un des rares endroits où mes douleurs s'estompent. Je me fais du bien après un trop long voyage. Avec ces douleurs, je suis en colère. De vieux démons remontent à la surface. Envie de retourner dans des nuits sans but. Envie de m'éclater comme les autres. Je suis envieux. Alors je pointe mon nez dans des cours de yoga pour me calmer. Culte du corps, yoga fashion, un vrai commerce s'est développé. C'est très loin de ce que j'ai découvert jusqu'alors. Mais comme me l'ont dit mes professeurs, À chacun son chemin. Alors j'essaie de ne pas juger et je continue le mien, à la rencontre des autres.
That summer, my 20th summer, I was home in Avalon, and we have many businesses, and I was working just like everybody else. But I found that I could not make it through the day. I was just very, very tired. But I was out in the sun all the time. I was running around, and we had horses, and we had businesses in town. So I would come home, I would be fatigued, but it seemed to pass enough for the next day for me to go. But one day I didn't get up. Looking at me, you would never know that I have multiple sclerosis, that I've had it for 60 years, and that I have limitations. Because the practice of your practice illustrates and demonstrates what yoga really is, which is an integration of an ancient practice into our culture, into our lives. You have to understand that you cannot teach an Iyengar class as a certified teacher if you don't practice. So you have to have your practice. And you suddenly realize that you're teaching from your practice. I'm not a doctor, none of us are, but we are good at what we do. So this was something that I thought could be transmitted to the MS population, which had never really ever been done before. But I asked Mr. Iyengar's permission. He said, go for it. Good luck, because you're bucking up against a lot of resistance. But you're persistent, you're patient, and you have the wherewithal to make your dreams come true. That was all that he ever said to me. So with that under my belt, that's when I approached the MS Society. See it? Okay, Michael, I want you to sit up really tall. Get away. Lean away. Oh, no, back towards your chair. But come to me, come to me. Come on. That's it. Step. Here you go. Put your elbows up to the ceiling, back behind you. Don't raise your eyes, Mom. Good. Got it. Here we go. Take a deep breath and exhale. Now, you tell me, how's that feel? Quite delicious? Almost delicious? Or get me out of here?
No, it just
Feels good,
like
doesn't it?
it's, yeah,
Yeah, it's
getting
really-
rid of the knots.
Getting rid of the knots. Glad to hear that. Okay, and inhale the breath. Bring your head forward with your hands. And as you exhale, push that chair forward. Go on, go on. Go on. Now exhale. Lean into your left hip and turn the liver back. Think about your intestines. I was not a member of the yoga community at all. I was a participant and a practitioner, but I wasn't in the loop. And but I did hear that he was coming to Berkeley, and then I did call some of the Iyengar teachers that were here, but they weren't as recognized in those days. And they said that yes, he would be there, and that's when I decided that I would go and see if to see him.
Virabhadrasana. See how I'm adjusting myself. So mobility and rigidity should be going together.
But I couldn't get in the class. They were full. They weren't taking any more registrants, so I just went. I took my book, and I talked my way into a hallway next to the gymnasium where I could sit. And I kept the door propped open. I used a cane, but only when I needed it. I wasn't using it all the time. And propped the door open and watched. And a couple of days later, he always came off the east door, but that day he came through the west door, and I was there.
You talked to him at that point?
He stopped and said, "Juan, what are you doing? Why are you here? Why aren't you in the room?" I said, they wouldn't take my registration, so I just came to watch. "Where are you from?" "Los Angeles." "Why do you have the cane?" I said, "I have multiple sclerosis." "What's that?" Described it to him. Just turned to somebody with him, I can't remember, might have been Raman Patel, and said, "Oh, the shaking leg disease." "Oh, yes, So he said, "Well, why don't you come in?" And there's my book. And he picked it up and he said, "Oh, I had broken the spine open. It was not a hard copy. It was a soft paperback. And it was I had dog-eared it and put threads in where I needed to be, ribbons." And he said, "You've used this book?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "Well," he laughed and said, "Well, half the people in the room in there haven't ever seen the book. And they're all in there trying to show me what they know, but it seems that you want to know what I know, so come on in." That's how we started.
Naturellement, plus que jamais, j'ai envie de me rendre en Inde. Je sais que dans quelques semaines, on y fête les 94 ans d'Iyengar. En œuvre pour y assister. C'est en ressortant du temple qu'une surprise incroyable me saisit. L'arbre, celui qui est le symbole même du cheminement du yoga, c'est ici que je le trouve. Bien planter ses racines dans une terre saine, sans la lave souterraine tumulte de nos pensées, pour pouvoir élancer son tronc vers le ciel, pour grandir bien droit, avec force et stabilité. Je me souviens de Thérèse, elle nous l'avait enseigné dès notre premier stage de yoga en Allemagne. Les feuilles qui oxygènent notre corps, l'écorce qui protège comme une peau, et la sève qui irrigue l'esprit et permet la concentration. Puis vient enfin la méditation, la fleur de l'arbre. Je traverse les campagnes en me rendant au village d'Iyengar. Un temple s'érige. C'est celui du dieu singe Hanuman, symbole de force et de sagesse. Iyengar l'a fait reconstruire, comme un signe de renouveau. Dans le temple, un miroir est tenu pour que les fidèles puissent regarder leurs idoles sans danger. Trop puissantes, nos regards ne peuvent soutenir de les admirer directement. Il faut aussi les purifier. Sous mes yeux se dévoilent les symboles et les enseignements que j'ai étudiés en Allemagne avec Thérèse. Cette Inde me parle. Elle m'envoûte. Il est là, au milieu des cérémonies. Il accepte de me recevoir à l'écart du bruit, chez lui.
They were in the early days, in 1950s, even both in America as well as in Europe, wine, wealth and women were the three most important things of enjoyment there. Then I thought, if I speak philosophy, they will not accept me at all. So I started telling in a different way that those who smoke, I said, I tell you to smoke, but find out whether your lungs have the capacity to accept your smoke. So I used the same methodology. I went through the current, with the current of the emotional current of the people, and then I used to tell them, if you want to enjoy a woman, have you got power to enjoy? So yoga gives that. So your nicotine you are taking, yoga makes you to take not nicotine but oxygen. Which one you prefer? So this way I went through the emotional current of the West, and then it took me several years for me to change, transform them, how to think of spiritual life, because sensual life is momentary, spiritual joy is permanent. Which one you want? Then I went on explaining, and that's how I built up the spiritual character after 10 to 15 years of my practices in the Western countries. All children should undergo yoga training so that they can understand their body, they can understand their mind, how it functions. So that's why I built a hall in the school itself. There is a teacher who teaches regularly. So yoga and education I combined.
Delhi, you did a conference with the Dalai Lama.
Yes.
And you said at one point about health, there's five different compartments.
Yeah.
There's ethical health, conscious health.
No, physical health, ethical health, mental health, intellectual health, conscious health, conscientious health, divine health. So these are the 7 compartments of health. Just keeping fit is not health. You may be healthy, but your liver may not be functioning. Or you may be good, but circulation may not be good. So we have to realize all these things. So I said, yoga builds up from the physical, moral, mental health towards the intellectual and spiritual health. Spiritual health is divine health. So even the very self has to say I'm healthy.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Ces instants magiques, je les ai vécus avec Élise. Elle est la marraine de cœur de ce film. Une aventure que nous partageons depuis notre rencontre au cours thérapeutique d'Iyengar, à Paris. Quel cadeau! La délicatesse, la vivacité d'esprit de cet homme. Maintenant, je n'ai qu'une envie, partager cela avec mon maître, Thérèse, que je n'ai pas vue depuis 8 ans.
It's interesting for me now because I'm in the middle of my film. Just what you remember when I arrived, when we met, and when I arrived in Benedictusov. Because I know I wasn't an easy student at the time. But you can tell me, I mean, it's like, okay, you know. So what are the memories you have when I arrived in Germany, you know, the first time?
Vulnerable, open, a little bit desperate, reluctant yet wanting to make a shift, realizing that you had to really make an effort. Those are the most of them.
But how do you approach, like, I was going to say, someone like me that has no clue what, I never had done yoga in my life, okay? I'm in Paris and I meet you. And you tell me, come to Germany, I can help you. I remember you told me I can give you 2 to 3 years to feel better. How do you can convince someone like me who is in pain, in chronic pain, has never practiced yoga? Because you have other students like that, I imagine.
Yes.
Right? Yes. What is your approach? Because
no approach. You're teaching me. You're showing me. So it's like you're talking to me all the time through everything that you say to me, and then I'm listening carefully, and I'm just a reflection back. So I'm not going in with an approach or a controlling or manipulating idea, but rather you're telling me exactly what you need.
If you want, you can tell me what happened. What were you doing in Sri Lanka, and what happened when you had your...
In Sri Lanka, I was working with a lot of children. We were working up to about 13,000 kids and hundreds of teachers in training. And what it wasn't about me, it was that I created a program that was incorporating all these different tools we're talking about, and to give a tool, a strengthening tool to the children. So more like a preventative almost, like why are we waiting to give the kids this? And I was just asked to go in after the tsunami, but here in Asia in general, it's been a lot about preventative programs, so that we can actually serve something to the new generation that actually gives them strength and hope and clarity in any form of trauma, right? Trauma is trauma to the system. It's a shutting of the system, basically. The subtle bodily that you're talking about it's very sensitive. It has to feel, it has to have clarity, it has to have understanding. And actually, I don't think I really, truly understood it on the most profound level of how strong of a medicine this practice is until I got hit myself in Sri Lanka.
What happened in Sri Lanka?
I was driven down from the back by a car intentionally. I think our work in Sri Lanka grew too fast in too short of a time. And so when I was actually hit in this political situation, I saw in a moment, in that split moment, how the brain wants to capture it and think it knows. And when I realized I didn't know, and how fragile I was in that moment, that's when I took the practice immediately in. My right
left hand was smashed, and I took my right hand right above and went into deep pranayama practice. And in that moment, I realized how profound this practice actually is as a medicine, and how we have these beautiful healing tools through our own system, but we're just so unaware, we just lost the essence of who we are.
Je rentre à Paris, bouleversé par l'histoire de Thérèse, par l'image de son être blessé. Le yoga ne protège pas de tout. Je retourne au centre Iyengar, besoin de me recentrer, de retrouver une pratique qui me canalise. Et je tombe sur un cours réservé aux femmes enceintes. L'une d'elles me dira même, à chaque fois que je sors de ce cours, je sens que mon bébé me remercie. Cette fois, ce sont les femmes que l'on manipule comme des nouveau-nés. Un dernier voyage qui conforte mon espoir de voir le yoga à la portée de tous, intégré à l'éducation. Connaître son corps et son mental de la même manière que l'on apprend à lire et à écrire. Le chemin est long, mais pas insurmontable. À Gardanne, non loin de Marseille, plusieurs enseignants ont réuni leurs forces et leur détermination pour faire rentrer le yoga au collège. Je souhaite de tout mon cœur que leur témoignage et celui des enfants puissent faire bouger les choses.
De ma formation de base, je suis professeure d'éducation physique. Et j'ai jamais compris, après j'ai su pourquoi le yoga et même toute activité visant à ce que les enfants et les élèves soient au repos, soient pas en méditation, enfin. Il y a un terme pour ça, quand on fait de la relaxation. Par exemple. Eh bien, c'est pas quelque chose qui soit concevable. Les enfants, il faut qu'ils soient en production, il faut qu'ils soient en action, il faut qu'ils réfléchissent, il faut qu'ils produisent. Et si on pouvait faire juste un break pour pouvoir enfin respirer, se recentrer, prendre le temps, quoi. Le plaisir d'être à l'école, le plaisir de respirer, le plaisir d'être soi, autoriser l'élève à être ce qu'il est en cours. Mon Dieu, c'est un tabou.
On travaille beaucoup de choses aussi sur les tapis qu'on ne retravaille pas forcément en classe, mais là, il y a l'écoute de l'autre, il travaille beaucoup par deux, même la respiration abdominale, sentir sous ses mains le ventre de l'autre qui Voilà, et oh bah tiens, ça se synchronise avec ma respiration. Bah tiens, j'ai essayé avec ma maman aussi à la maison. On a une relaxation aussi où ils déposent leur tracas, ils écrivent ça sur des papiers, ça fait des petites boulettes, et puis à la fin, ils les jettent concrètement. Mais ils font la relaxation, il y a toute une histoire, et à la fin, concrètement, ils les prennent, ils les jettent. Et ça, ils en avaient adoré aussi. Ils s'allègent. Et là, il y a un travail vraiment en profondeur. C'est-à-dire que tout à l'heure, je parlais de perdre un peu son identité quand on fait du yoga. Ils se mettent eux-mêmes des étiquettes entre eux, eux-mêmes sur eux. Et là, l'étiquette, c'est comme si elle sautait d'un coup. Et il faut aller écouter ce qui se passe à l'intérieur. Qui est-ce qu'on est vraiment? Tiens, qu'est-ce que je ressens? J'ose le dire. Là on me permet peut-être de dire quelque chose. Et en plus, au collège, où finalement, ce qui règne ici, quelque part, pour eux, quand ils témoignent, c'est ce qu'ils disent. Hein, il y a les notes, le carnet. Plus ils se connaîtront eux-mêmes vraiment et s'accepteront comme ils sont, sans tabou, sans être honteux, d'être un peu plus sensible là ou un peu trop énervé là, à se voir positivement avec un regard, vraiment un beau regard. Voilà, à sourire justement, pas que le sourire extérieur. Ça, tout ça, on en parle, c'est des petites choses comme ça qui sont posées de temps en temps, petites choses qui brillent pour eux. Et j'ai l'impression que ça reste.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, teacher.
Stay here. I'll go to your place. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Pour moi, la présence du yoga à l'école, elle s'inscrit dans une problématique beaucoup plus large, qui est la prise en charge de la difficulté et l'aide aux enfants en difficulté. Et là, elle a vraiment sa place, parce que le yoga permet d'apporter des réponses, finalement, à des problèmes qu'on peut rencontrer avec les enfants, des réponses concrètes, pratiques. Quand par exemple on dit à longueur de temps et depuis plusieurs années « sois attentif, calme-toi », mais pour lui, ce ne sont que des mots. Avec le yoga, on peut lui donner une technique, une assise, une respiration, un point du regard à fixer, en fait, quand il en a besoin, pour lui donner un cadre, pour lui c'est rassurant et c'est une aide concrète.
Il y a aussi le yantra qui nous aide avant les contrôles, et on fixe le point et après on ferme les yeux, ça nous aide, ça nous enlève le stress. On tient comme ça, on met en bas la pointe, et on regarde, on fixe. Et au bout d'un moment, après, on ferme les yeux et on voit l'inverse des couleurs. Exemple, le point noir, et ben, il devient blanc. Le triangle blanc, il devient noir.
Mes copains de notre collège m'ont traité de tarlouse.
Vous allez dire d'en faire parce que t'as vu, c'est dur. Hein.
Je lui ai dit, mais non, mais vas-y, essaye. Il m'a dit, non, c'est pour les bébés, vas-y, ça sert à rien. Ah, pour les bébés? Ouais. Moi, ma famille, quand je leur dis que je fais du yoga, ils se foutent de ma gueule.
Mais ils disent quoi?
Bah, que c'est pour les tarlouses.
Aussi?
Oui.
Et toi, t'as décidé de continuer quand même?
Bah oui.
Ouais.
Moi, mes amis à l'extérieur, ils me disent c'est pour les intellos, mais je leur réponds, la preuve, je suis pas une intellote. Ça vient pas du premier cours. Au bout du troisième, ça commence à faire effet. Mais je trouve la classe, elle a énormément changé parce qu'au début, on était vraiment tous excités et tout. Et là, ça s'est apaisé.
Ouais, maintenant, on s'entend bien et tout. Tous, on s'entend. Moi, j'étais violent verbalement et si on me cherchait, j'allais taper directement. Et que là, si on me dit des gros mots, je laisse parler, je m'en fous.
Je suis allée la première fois et j'ai pas trop aimé. Après la deuxième fois, je me suis dit c'est pas trop... Ouais, voilà, c'est bien quand même. Et j'ai continué. Et après, c'est dès qu'on peut être énervé, dès qu'on veut pas faire quelque chose, après on se dit... On respire, on dit... Ouais, voilà, on dit c'est moi, je vais me concentrer, après on le fait. Voilà.
Les enfants sont très demandeurs. Ils ont une attitude au départ qui est assez méfiante, presque méprisante, le yoga.
Et puis en fait, quand ils vont découvrir que ça fait du bien, qu'on est bien, et puis qu'il n'y a rien de non plus de bizarre, hein, parce que pour eux c'est un petit peu le mot qui vient à ce moment-là, ils adhèrent. Alors c'est les petits, les sixièmes, ils adhèrent, mais alors complètement, ils sont très très demandeurs. Parce que eux, ils ont besoin de se calmer, ils ont besoin de se poser.
Eh ben, dès que je suis stressée, je fais une posture de yoga, je fixe un point et je me détends. Voilà.
Tu le fais chez toi?
Oui,
ah, oui,
avec ma mère des fois.
Avec ta mère? Qu'est-ce qu'elle a dit ta mère le premier jour quand tu lui as dit la prof? Elle m'enseigne le yoga, qu'est-ce qu'elle a dit ta mère?
Elle m'a dit que c'était très bien.
C'était très bien, ouais. Elle veut pas faire du yoga ta mère maintenant?
Non, en fait, elle en fait avec moi. C'est moi qui lui dis comment faire le yoga.
Tu lui enseignes?
Ouais.
Demander à un enfant en fait, de respirer, surtout quand il a 14 ans, il ne le fait plus comme quand il avait 11 ans. Parce que tout est bloqué, il y a un espèce de carcan, et puis le corps, ils ont leur corps qui est resserré en fait, hein, donc c'est vrai que ça leur fait du bien de s'ouvrir.
J'ai tenu ma promesse et j'ai fait mon film. Mais il me reste une dernière chose à faire. On m'avait dit que je ne pourrais plus jamais faire aucun type de sport. Vous voulez savoir la vérité? Allongé sur mon lit d'hôpital, j'ai eu l'audace d'en rêver. Il y a toujours 1000 soleils à l'envers des nuages.
Try.